guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk about the Fujifilm X-H2s. I've been using this camera since the beginning of July and I've been using it a lot, and now I want to present my 5 key takeaways in this video about this camera, which features I love the most. So let's go. A little disclaimer at the beginning, I'm not sponsored by Fujifilm or anyhow involved with the brand. I just love their gear and I just want to share my thoughts with you guys. Before I go into details, this camera was used with a CF Express Type B card from SanDisk with 256 GB of memory and with a write speed of 1200 megabytes per second, and also with a second SD card with 300 megabytes per second write speed and 128 gigabytes of storage, because I wanted to make sure that I can unlock the full potential of this camera, especially including the ProRes video recording where you need a fast CF Express card Type B, and also it doesn't work with the SD card. I've been using this camera with a battery grip since the beginning, mostly because you have 2 additional batteries which make the camera last basically forever, and also vertical shooting is much more pleasing with the battery grip. Besides that, the battery grip has normal eco and boost modes, but I rarely use those, so for me it's just for the sake of handling and the additional batteries. After using this camera for a few months, the thing I probably love the most is the speed. Like the name says, Fujifilm X-H2s, and the S is for speed. Let's start with the autofocus performance. The autofocus performance is for me very good. I did a lot of cycling shots and like shooting downhill bikers down a mountain, and I used the AFC setting with the tracking modes, and that worked very well. So I barely had a missed shot, also using this camera wide open with f4 or f2.8, and it was so spot on all the time. It was like a real upgrade to the XT4. Also, shooting more stills per second comes in very handy for doing sports photography. And yeah, the stacked sensor really shines with the new processor unit of this new cam. So yeah, if you want a damn fast camera, this is definitely the place to go in the Fujifilm ecosystem. And also, what I forgot to mention, the speed also in video, like tracking people in video is also very fast and reliable. Face detection is awesome. Yeah, they improved really a lot, and also with the different special subject tracking modes like face, animal detection, car detection, and so on. It makes just a lot of fun using this, because the second thing that started to grow on me are the new CF Express Type B cards. I think few people are bothered because now they have to buy an extra card and they can't use like 2 SD cards like on the other models. But I really love the fact that we are now able to shoot on faster cards and also more sturdier and more reliable cards. So I've never had a problem with an SD card before, but I've been also very cautious and always like backups everywhere I can, and now having those sturdier and it just feels better. And also transferring photos from the card to the SSD backup or whatever, it's just way faster than with the SD cards. It's like a very small but very incremental improvement. As expected is the image quality. I've been expecting just the absolute best from Fujifilm, like I always did, and yeah, they delivered. So for myself, I can't notice that much of a difference between the XT4 and the X-H2s from the image quality. It's both are like 2 26 megapixel sensors, and yeah, it's also like in the ISO performance, it's yeah, not really a difference for me. But I've been also very happy with the XT4 image quality, and since this camera is very similar to it, the raw files are the same, so I didn't have to change my post-processing workflow. My presets work the same on the new camera, and that's why I'm very happy with the image quality. If you want to know more about the image quality, check out some Pixel People reviews. There are probably quite a few out there, but here it's just more about the look and feel. Let's go to the next point, and which is video performance. And this is absolutely awesome. It's such a beast in this area. So where should I start? Okay, let's go with the obvious, and that's ProRes recording. This beast internally records 6K 30p ProRes HQ 422 or LQ with 10-bit 422, and it's freaking awesome. So especially with the X-T4 back in the day, my workstation had a very hard time to decode the H.265 codec, which you had to use on the X-T4 to get the best settings. So I always had to decode my H.265 files into ProRes files for the editing. And that took always quite some time, because like decoding and encoding those shots may take a few hours. It depends on how much files you have. And now this whole process is gone because I can natively record in ProRes, and that's awesome. I know the files are getting bigger, but for me that's definitely worth it. This cam shoots crazy bit rates up to over 1000 megabits per second in ProRes, and also even around 760 megabits per second in H.265. You can also record proxies if you want. You have the support of the new F-Log 2, which is even flatter and provides more dynamic range than the F-Log 1 originally. CineD did some tests with the dynamic range, and yeah, they came to the conclusion that the dynamic range for such a small camera is huge, with around 13 real stops. Just to give a little perspective, this puts it above the Blackmagic Cine camera 6K, and I think for like a small mirrorless camera that's awesome. Also, the rolling shutter is very low due to the fast sensor readout of the stacked sensor. And also because of the stacked sensor, you can also see the improved autofocus performance. It definitely took a little bit of time with the X-T4 to follow subjects. On the X-H2, it's just spot on every time and like very fast. So I think they're getting closer to the Sony level. And let's come to the last point, where they also improved, is the IBIS unit. While the IBIS unit was already very good on the X-T4, they improved it significantly, especially for video. So on the X-T4 you had a lot of those micro jitters, kind of when you were like having IBIS on and doing video and stuff like that, and panning or something, you got like micro jitters. And the footage always looked like it was like badly stabilized or something, especially when shooting handheld and having a little bit of movement in there. And I don't know what they did with the X-H2s, but this is mostly gone now. So the IBIS is doing a very great job to make it as smooth as possible. And now the handheld footage gets closer to my like Sony FX6 footage. And for me that's awesome. So well done, Fuji technical engineers. That's like great stuff you did there. And also for photos, I've been very happy with the X-T4 IBIS for photos, and they improved it further with the X-H2s. So there is no further comment on that, because like I don't know how far this gets, but I mean, you can shoot waterfall shots with handheld and everything blurred with 1/10 of time, or even less, depends also on the lens you have. And like normally you would always need a tripod for that, but with the new IBIS units it's insane what you can get out of it. Before I come to the conclusion, I want to share a few points which I don't like about this camera. So for example, I'm not a fan of the PSAM dial. I rather have an ISO dial there. Somehow this is just a software problem, but for example on this back dial here, I wanted to have like my exposure compensation, but this is not possible. So I just can put the aperture or the time here on this little wheel. So I just wanted to be able to customize all the buttons as I want, and somehow that's not possible, and I hope they fix it sooner or later with the update. So now I have had to do a little workaround where I customized the recording video button, and while pressing this, the exposure compensation gets activated, and then I can change it. But yeah, it's just a small thing. Let's get to the conclusion. This camera is for me the perfect hybrid camera. It does photo and video extremely well, and this helps me to provide better content to my clients. I can shoot faster because of the better autofocus performance and increased buffer, and also like with the fast new cards we got in this camera. The video is getting insanely good with the ProRes video recording, the improved IBIS, and yeah, the production workflow just easily improved in every part. So yeah, what can I say more? Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section below.